got me stranded like a branch in the wind. Tell me what you long for. Oh, I want what you want.
It's still May of 2019. WildChild is south of Nassau, Bahamas, making her way slowly through the Exuma island chain. We gotta get way south before hurricane season. Last episode, you watched us sail south to Georgetown Exumas out in the Exuma Sound. By the time we finished sailing the 50 miles, I was kind of tired and didn't take a lot of footage. But as you can see, it's a shallow, rocky entrance, and we sailed our way in. It's not easy sailing, but we were quite happy to get WildChild to anchor in the lee of Stocking Island. So hi guys, the all-girl boat with the all-girl crew made it. I think we did 50 or 60 miles today. We've made it to Georgetown Exumas. The beautiful thing about sailing, and the thing that makes it an adventure, is you really have no idea what you're going to find when you get there. Georgetown Exumas is infamous or famous. The beaches on the island are well known. This signpost outside the beach bar is famous worldwide amongst all cruisers. Now we can say we've seen it. And looking across from our anchorage at Georgetown proper, you can see that there's an area of built-up houses and resorts which are rather expensive looking. And then further to the north, there's just the regular town where the regular people live. What I cannot see from here is where can we land the dinghy. It's been so long since we've been able to get rid of our garbage that it's just sort of piled up and filled the engine room. We need to find a place where we can dump it. And we haven't provisioned in a while, so let's see if we can get some shopping done. It's about a mile across, and theoretically this is protected water, so for a dinghy run, it shouldn't be a problem. The dinghy ride there was fine, but 2 hours later, the dinghy ride back full of groceries was the worst dinghy ride I've ever had. Another cruiser had told us that in Georgetown, just go find the docks, look to the right, you'll see a tiny little bridge, and just bring your dinghy under there. That'll get you to the inner pond where there's a dinghy dock for the grocery store. This protected inner bay is all like 5 feet deep, so there's no chance of us getting WildChild into here. The sailor said, don't worry, you can't miss the bridge, but I think I can be forgiven for missing it the first time. The beaches in Georgetown are fantastic, but by far I think the most exciting feature of Georgetown is this dinghy dock just around the corner, giving you immediate access behind the grocery store. That's the dock for the grocery store, and that's the grocery store, which is very convenient for sailors, the inner pond at Georgetown. So we'll go walk around and visit. One of the words in your vocabulary that will get an expanded definition when you leave your first world home is the word grocery store. But in Georgetown, it's actually fairly well stocked and fairly big. But this is the Bahamas, and the prices are still absolutely ridiculous. Personally, I like to have paper towel on the boat, and Bounty is of course the best brand, so I wanted to resupply. But look at this, I'm not even kidding. $40 US for an 8-pack of paper towel. Come to Georgetown, Exumas, and if you like paper towel, you too can pay $40. $40. this. Like, I thought groceries were expensive in Canada. Look at this. A single roll of Bounty. I don't know if I can show you that. $5 for a single roll of Bounty paper towel. $5 for one roll. Now, I didn't get much video footage of that horrible dinghy ride back, but suffice it to say that by the time we arrived at WildChild, we had 20 centimeters of water in the bottom of the dinghy, and some of those very expensive groceries were quite soaked. So WildChild has had a rather rough day. Not really a rough day, but it was a very rough dinghy ride back from the grocery store with our provisions. So what is better to treat yourself to than tacos? Yay! I am so excited for these tacos. It's Sunday, May 26th. WildChild is in Georgetown, Exumas. We're safely at anchor, and yesterday we got provisions. So what should we do today? Let's pick something off the to-do list. That spotlight's been on there for a month. Reseal starboard chain plate, do laundry, fix bilge hose, make water, get diesel, make YouTube videos, do some deep cleaning on the boat. We need to purchase a new cedar plug that we lost. I think today we're going to get stuff done on the to-do list. And then the gas station's on the right side, and they've got a dock right there. We're going there, right? Slow it way down, way down. And there's the Shell station with no fuel or not open. Oh, that might be bad. By jerry can is how WildChild usually gets fuel. Is that guy wearing a suit? Well, it turns out that the gas station on Sundays is open from 7 a.m. till 11, closes until 2 in the afternoon, and then opens from 2 till 5. We arrived at 12:30, so it looks like we got a little bit of time to go in town and just sort of explore around. Maybe we can find the fishing lures. Since we had some time to kill, we decided to wander around Georgetown and explore a little bit. I never expected to find pine trees in the Bahamas. I thought they were a northern climate kind of cold weather tree. I don't know if you noticed this. And Captain Lexi is a very friendly and social girl, and of course I made friends with the locals. Most of these people buy sailboats, they never sail. Elena found a local roadside vendor who was chopping up fresh coconuts, and she was really excited to try it. You just stick it in? Yeah. Huh. You want to try? I'll take a sip, yeah. Sunday in the Bahamas, so it's church day, and they're very religious and very Christian here. So in this, I don't know, old pizza shack, you can hear the pastor inside preaching passionately, and it's awesome. Us white people, we don't have passion like this. If you think you have a lot of empty beer bottles around your house, you got nothing on the Bahamas. They've got skid loads of empty beer bottles. Oh, it's funny. Eventually, on island time in the late afternoon, the gas station opens up. We're able to fill our jerry cans and bring them back to WildChild. So, on the to-do list was to refill the fuel tank. We got Alina freeing them from the sides where we keep them protected with sun covers. She's bringing them forward, and we bought ourselves one of those beautiful shakers, the shaker tubes that you do for siphoning. They work great. It's probably the best $10 we ever spent on the boat. So we haven't fueled WildChild probably in 6 or 7 months because I didn't want my fuel getting algae in it. So I'm trying to kind of... Alright, it's time for a Captain Lexi tirade. So I don't know if you know this, but things can be expensive, and things in the Bahamas are even more expensive than you'd find them in Canada or America. Now I get that I'm in the Bahamas, they don't produce anything for themselves, they have to import everything, and I have to pay for them to import it. So I understand I'm going to pay a markup. Now I'm going to show you a video earlier, like a tube of 5200, which is a marine silicone sealant, or marine sealant. You know, back home in the US is $15, in Canada is $18 Canadian, which is about the same as 15 US. In the Bahamas, that same tube is $50. $50, like it's 1,000% markup on things. So you saw the video, we were fishing before and we caught our first mahi-mahi and it got away with our cedar plug. Cedar plug is literally a piece of wood with a lead weight and a hook through it. Nothing complicated whatsoever. So you know, like in Nassau and Marsh Harbor, they're $22. But right now we're in Georgetown in the Exumas, and we needed to replace our missing cedar plug because that's the right lure for mahi-mahi. And now I want to show you what expensive really looks like. Yep, $45.30 and 57 flipping dollars for a piece of wood with a hook in it and a weight on the end, a lead weight on the end. The very same cedar plugs are $22 in Nassau and $24 in Marsh Harbor, but yet you come buy them in the Exumas, you come to Georgetown, some fish stole your cedar plug, and they're gonna gouge you for another 200% markup. Yes, it's the 57 freaking dollar cedar plug, $57 for a piece of wood. It is disgusting. I can't take it anymore. So the new plan on WildChild is we go cut down a branch, we get the drill out, we hollow out a stick, and we put some freaking lead weight on the end, and we make our own cedar plugs. Because I'm not paying 57 freaking dollars for any more cedar plugs. Maybe when we get to Puerto Rico, we can stock up on cheaper ones, but cruisers, really fill your boat with stuff before you leave the US or Canada. Like, buy as much as you can. You don't want to have to buy anything in the Bahamas. It is so expensive, they will gouge you. They're going to reach into your purse and they're going to rob you, and they feel entitled to rob you, and you probably don't feel entitled to be robbed, and you probably don't want them to rob you.